Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsay's Little Library. So I'm here today as a bit of a reality check for myself because, well, I need one. And I need one in the world of Book of the Month Club. Now don't get me wrong, I am loving Book of the Month Club. I think that their selections are absolutely amazing. They knock it out of the park every single month. I have a hard time deciding what I want every single month. But I get a book every single month and I'm super excited about it. My problem lately is I haven't been reading them. So I thought I would come here today and be completely honest about all of the Book of the Month books that I have. I'll share with you the small amount of them that I have read, and then we'll go through the ones that I still have. And I think I'll pick 5 that are at the top of my list, and I'll have you guys vote on which one I need to read next. How about that? And I'll read it before the end of the year. I think that's doable. Let's do that. All right, so we're going to start with books that I have read, which all 3 of these I have given 5 stars to. I recommend all 3 of these constantly to people. Loved every page, every page. So first one up is Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips. I read this last year for Spookathon, I'm pretty sure, and this blew me away. And I still think about this book, and I still tell people that they have to read this book. So this follows a mom, her name is Joan, and she takes her 4-year-old son to the zoo to kind of soak up the last days of warmish fall weather before winter hits, right? So they go to the zoo quite frequently. They have their favorite little spot. They even have a little secret spot that not many people know about that they go and play. And so while they're there, 2 gunmen come into the zoo, right? So now she needs to hide from these gunmen with her 4-year-old little boy. When I read this, I had a 4-year-old little boy. So I don't know if that's what made me love it more or made me connect with it more, but I totally connected with Joan. It was like I was in this book. She did things that I would have done. She struggled with things that I would have struggled with. It was amazing. And the end of this book, I think I need to talk to somebody about this because I can't tell ya, but wow, it just left me completely heartbroken that the book was over, really. But jaw-dropping, wonderful, action-packed, really, really great book. Loved it. The next book I read, I think this was the next book I picked up, was The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This, again, 5 stars. Really amazing psychological thriller. This follows our character, Anna Fox. She is a recluse. She cannot leave her home. She's afraid to go outside. She can't. So to pass the time, she drinks a lot. Well, I mean, I would too. And she watches old black and white movies, and she spies on her neighbors, and she sees something interesting happen at her neighbor's house, and oh man, it goes down really quickly after that. And there is a huge twist, and I used to know the exact page that it happened on, but again, left me jaw-dropped. Oh my gosh, how did I not see that coming? Fantastic book. Loved this book. And then the latest one I read was Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. First of all, you guys all know my love for Kristen Hanna. She's just an amazing author. I love her. But this follows a family in the 1970s who moved to Alaska. It is the mother, the father, and the daughter. And the father, I think his name's Ernst. Yeah, he is a former POW from Vietnam War, and he's dealing with some major PTSD. And he thinks moving to Alaska will help things. Well, it's great in the summer, but once winter hits, man, it just takes a turn. So again, an amazing book, 5 stars, devoured this thing. Kristen Hanna knocks it out of the park again. Loved it. I did a buddy read, that's why I still have all my little marks in there, but it was a really great book. Really great book. So those are the 3 I've read. Shall we start with the pile that I haven't read? This is bad, but we'll start with the ones that I'm maybe not as excited to read. So this pile isn't necessarily in a specific order, it's just kind of what I grabbed off of the shelves. So we'll start with Artemis by Andy Weir. Andy Weir also wrote The Martian, which I fell in love with, absolutely loved, couldn't put it down. That book has the best opening sentence of any book I've ever read. Just go look, it's great. So I think this follows visiting the moon, starting a colony on the moon. I'm not sure. I just picked it up because I really liked his book The Martian. Never thought I would love a book about a astronaut getting stuck on Mars, so I'm like, you know, I'll give Andy another shot and we'll pick this one up. So there's that. Next one I have is Not That I Could Tell by Jessica Strouser. This, I've been told, has a Desperate Housewives-ish feel to it, but I believe it's a neighborhood. There's a group of moms that hangs out all the time, and one of the moms goes missing. I've heard mixed reviews on this one, so I think that's why I haven't read it yet. Then I have Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. This one, I believe, follows two girls that disappear, and 3 years later, one of the girls comes back. Sounds interesting. Heard really good things about it. Then I have Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance by Ruth Emmy Lang. Honestly, don't even know what it's about. I can't remember. I think this was one of the first ones that I got, like, a while ago. I know, it's bad, I'm telling you. Then we have The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. Now, technically, I didn't order this from Book of the Month. I got this out of a free little library in my neighborhood, but it is a Book of the Month Club book, so kind of have to add it to that category. So I believe this follows someone who is serving 2 life sentences in a women's correctional facility. Sounds interesting again. All right, next one I have is The Summer Wives by Beatrice Williams. This was one of my more anticipated books of the summer, and I never got to it. So this follows a woman. It kind of follows the aftermath of World War II. So a number of men were killed during that war. We have a number of widows that were kind of left, and follows kind of how this culture shift happens after the war, where these new families are created because the widows again move on, they get remarried. Now there's stepchildren involved. It's the 1950s. Kind of follows what happens with that. All right, the next few, again, I don't remember. Two Girls Down by Luisa Luna. I believe this was kind of the psychological thriller, which I don't like to know a whole lot about, so I'm not even going to crack it open and look at it. I do love this cover, though. Makes me feel very fallish, so maybe this would be a good one to pick up. Then we have A Million Junes by Emily Henry. I know a few of you have been like, how have you not read this yet? I don't know, but I like the cover, it's pretty. And let's just keep going with pretty covers, right? The Perfect Mother by Amy Malloy. Again, mixed reviews on this one. A friend of mine read this one like literally right away, and she was like, it's okay. And I'm like, ugh. Does it make me want to pick it up? I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to know reviews like that, but I trust her. We have very similar thoughts on books, but I'm still interested. I still kind of want to know. Again, psychological thriller, I believe, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Let's see, I've got 2 left. This one, Red Clacks by Lenny Zumas. This one is a dystopian, I believe, and it has to do with women's rights. Oh, there's in vitro fertilization is banned, and the Personhood Amendment grants rights of life, liberty, and property to every embryo. So I'm very intrigued by this, but I haven't picked it up. Then we have Lies She Told by Kate Holland. Again, psychological thriller, don't know a whole lot about it, don't want to know a whole lot about my psychological thrillers. It's just a choice I take. I feel like I want to go in them completely blind. I think I enjoy the books better when I do that. And then I have The Philosopher's Flight by Tom Miller. I believe this is a fantasy book that involves magic, involves a young man wanting to kind of get into this world of, he's one of the few men who practice empirical philosophy, an arcane female-dominated branch of science used to summon the wind, heal the injured, and even fly. So he's definitely an outsider, getting into a magical world. It just sounded really interesting. I think I was still on my fantasy kick at that time, so that's why I picked that one up, but definitely has me interested. All right, so the last 5 are going to be the ones I want you guys to vote on, because these ones, I mean, all of these have me excited, but these are like definitely the ones I've been gravitating towards lately. I know I've talked about them a few times in videos before, I just haven't gotten to them yet. So we'll start with my newest one. I got Kate Morton's The Clockmaker's Daughter. I love Kate Morton. I love how she does dual time perspectives, how you don't know how characters necessarily are connected yet until you get really further, almost to the end of the book, and you see how that connection is. There's always some sort of mystery involved. This one has to do with a young artist back in the late 1800s who I believe a woman was shot, another one disappeared, and an heirloom goes missing, and then 150 years later, there's a woman who's kind of trying to uncover this scandal. So definitely love this one. I love this cover. It's so pretty, and again, I just love Kate Morton's books. It's a little chunky though. It doesn't scare me. Good. So that's probably more of a historical fiction-esque one that I have. Okay, the next one up I would say is more of a contemporary, and these 2 books are actually kind of similar that I have coming up. So we have Eleanor Oliphant, It's Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This follows the life of Eleanor Oliphant, who's a little bit quirky, a little bit odd, and kind of a little you learn a little bit more about her. She also has a drinking problem, I've been told, so that's always interesting. All right, the next one I have is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This follows Stella, who has Asperger's. She's pretty much a genius. She's got loads of money, but she doesn't have the love aspect of her life. So she hires an escort to teach her how to kiss, and things go from there. I've heard really great things about this book, so it just sounds like a really easy read. Next up, I have The Dinner List by Rebecca Searle. This has me interested because one of my favorite icebreaker questions when I'm either facilitating a group or training a group of people is if you can invite any 3 people to dinner, dead or alive, who would you invite and why? This book kind of takes on that question. So what 5 people, living or dead, would you invite to dinner, but what if that dinner actually happened? Again, sounds really interesting, and just based on, I use that question a lot, why not, right? And the last book I have to add in a psychological thriller, is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I read The Final Girls and loved that book. Loved that book. I don't know a lot about this. Again, psychological thrillers, I don't want to know a lot about. But yeah, here's the last one. So here are the 5 you need to vote on. Vote up in the corner wherever I have my little thing pop up, and let me know which book I need to pick up next. Like, have to pick up next. Vote for one. Here they are. And I will announce the winners, let's say, by the end of this week. So be sure to cast your vote. You have until Friday, October 26th to let me know, so I have your pick in time for my weekend reads. I will post the winner on Instagram on that day. I'll give you till maybe about noon to get your vote in. So definitely be sure to follow my Instagram page. I'll leave a link below to see which one wins. Watch my wrap-up videos to see what I think about it. But I am seriously super excited for these 5 for sure. So pick one for me. And then I need to come up with a plan to catch up on the rest, because I struggle with this because I don't want to give up book of the month, because it's a really great deal. I mean, it's $15 for a brand new book that you easily will pay over $20 for these when they come out. You usually get them before they're even released. Like, I think I had The Great Alone before it was even released. And they have, like I said, knocked it out of the park. All of the ones that I've read so far have all been 5 stars. So I don't want to give it up, but I definitely need to stop just collecting them and start reading them. So thank you for keeping me accountable. Let me know below if you have the same problem I do. And let me know if there's any of these books on here I talked about that you think I should definitely add to my must-read next list. Comment below and I will definitely move it up. Other than that, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!